Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We begin in the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. We have arrived in the 7th juz of the Qur'an. وَإِذَا سَمِعُوا. In this juz, our reflection stop is connected to the stop that we paused at in the previous juz. You recall how we mentioned the Qur'an warns against basing tall claims of religion, salvation, hereafter, on the basis of weak, conjectural, speculative evidence, what the Qur'an calls dhann. You should never base any tall claim in religion on something that is not sure, that is not certainly known to be approved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But what if we ignore this advice? What is the result of not taking this Qur'anic teaching seriously? Allah shows us in this juz the disastrous and deleterious consequences and after effects and ramifications of not taking this seriously. So I bring you to verses 114 to 120 of Surah Al-Ma'idah, which falls in our juz today. Here you have an intense conversation that goes on between Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Prophet Isa alayhi salam on the Day of Judgment. The fact that Allah says قال الله or وَإِذْ قال الله, remember when Allah said, literally it's past tense, but it's the prophetic past tense which is used to describe future events of the Day of Judgment in the Arabic of the Qur'an. So Allah informs us that on the Day of Judgment He will have this conversation with Prophet Isa alayhi salam, in which He will question him whether he had anything to do with what later became the central beliefs of Christianity. Beliefs like his own divinity, the alleged divinity of his mother. Did he have anything to do with this? And obviously he absolves himself of this. He says, I had absolutely nothing to do with this. I taught pure monotheism. I taught them that there is no God but you. But notice how towards the end, there's something really interesting, something that really gives me the chills. And I think we should all pause here for a moment and see what's going on here. Towards the very end, you notice in verse 118, he addresses Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. After making it clear he doesn't have anything to do with their deviation, he addresses Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and he says, إِن تُعَذِّبْهُمْ فَإِنَّهُمْ عِبَادُكَ. He says, oh God, if you punish them, then they are your slaves. وَإِن تَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ فَإِنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ. But if you decide to forgive them, then you are almighty and all-wise. If you ponder very deeply on this statement, and especially Allah's response to it, what you notice going on here is something that does not appear on the surface. On the surface, it just seems like He's making a declaration of truth, a statement of truth. That if Allah punishes, that's His right. If He forgives, that's also His right, because He's almighty and all-powerful. But it almost seems as if there is something more in this statement. It's as if He's saying, Ya Allah, if you punish them, obviously no one can accuse you of injustice. And no one can say that that would be a wrong thing to do because they are your slaves. You can do whatever you want with your slaves. No one can question you about that. But if on the other hand, if you decide to forgive them, that's also something that cannot be held against you because you have omnipotence. You have unrestrained powers. You can do whatever you like. So it's almost as if there is a nudge here that, Ya Allah, even if you forgive them, it's coming from you, it wouldn't be such a big deal. But look at Allah's response. Allah immediately responds to this by saying, قَالَ اللَّهُ هَذَا يَوْمُ يَنْفَعُ الصَّادِقِينَ صِدْقُهُم. Allah says, today is a day when only the truthful will benefit from the truth of what they believed in. As in, Allah is saying today, no intercession and no kind of nudge is going to work in favor of anyone who believed in lies. Today, the only way you can be successful on a day like the Day of Judgment is if you are successful in the time that was given to you in this world, if you are successful in identifying the truth and believing in it, then you are a winner on the Day of Judgment. But Allah is saying, if you did not identify what the truth was, if you were so passive and so lazy that you just got carried away by claims that were being made left, right, and center, here and there, then Allah is saying, هَذَا يَوْمُ يَنْفَعُ الصَّادِقِينَ صِدْقُهُم. Today only the truthful shall benefit from the truth of what they believed in. If you believed in lies, if you believed in fabrications, if you believed in inventions, if you believed in anything that was not authorized explicitly by Allah, you shall be a loser on that day. That is the chilling message that we get from this passage, and that is what makes us realize the central importance of truth, pursuing the truth, searching for the truth, and journeying in the path of Allah to find the truth.